You are in the skin and beauty industry.
Yes.
What took you down that path and what really amplified you to want to bring your expertise into that area?
Okay, so a few different things pushed me to the industry. Quite interesting. So I was actually an ex-school teacher and then I became a stay-at-home mum for like 9 years. I went through a separation with my ex-husband and I went on this journey of like trying to find myself. And through that process, I had really bad acne. So I was trying to find a dermal clinician. I wasn't looking for a beauty therapist. I was looking for someone specifically that had the education and the knowledge to be able to help me with my skin. So I started going to multiple clinics and, you know, most of them were just beauty therapists. I ended up getting a few different treatments and I got a laser treatment that actually ended up burning my skin.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up with a chemical burn and then I developed post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation from that. And then from there, I started looking for a professional to try to help me heal that. And I couldn't find anyone. And I was calling all these clinics and asking for their qualifications and they all seemed to be beauty therapists. And I didn't want a beauty therapist touching my skin. And that's just a personal preference.
Yeah, of course.
And I just thought, how do I do this for myself? How can I heal myself and then help others on this journey? So I ended up studying cosmetic and dermal science. That's what kind of pushed me. That was like my little breaking point where I was like, you know what, I need to do something to heal my own skin and then in turn help other people's skin. So that's how I started out in the industry is, you know, getting a chemical burn and then, you know, having to heal my own skin, which I did, thankfully. But it just made me realize that there is such a lack of knowledge and a lack of education in the industry that I'm in at the moment, which is really alarming.
Where do most people go wrong when it comes to their skin?
In terms of like healing their skin or looking after their skin?
Well, both. If I'm acne prone.
Yes.
What is it? Have you found the most errors that people have made with it?
Self-diagnosis and self-prescription or TikTok. I think that's the biggest one these days is, you know, I get DMs from girls all the time. I saw this on TikTok. Is this good for my skin? And I'm like, no, honey, please do not put that on your skin. You need to see a professional. I think that that's the biggest thing is seeing a professional and that with acne, for instance, a lot of it is from gut health and a lot of it stems from internal, not just external. Yeah.
Do you find that the women, because usually I'm guessing that's your target market.
Yes.
Their quick fix is, let's try and take care of the skin as opposed to the whole person.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, 100%. I think that the aesthetics industry in general, like generally speaking, I think that they want that quick fix rather than to heal everything because that takes time, right? And that's also an investment. So a lot of people want that quick fix.
If I'm trying to establish some sort of routine in and around the skin, what would be your first advice or tip for somebody to go in that direction?
Skincare routine is really important. So it's about 80% what you do at home that matters and then 20% what you do in a clinic. So there's really no point in you spending all this money going to a clinic every month and then going home and using The Ordinary, which is one of the brands that I don't really love. But that's another topic. But yeah, skincare routine and a very basic routine. I think that people get it wrong and they think that they need so many different products and ingredients on their face and then they actually end up causing harm and damage to their skin. So keeping it really simple and basic is what I tell all my clients.
And what would that simple and basic look like?
Yeah, so just a cleanser, a serum and a moisturizer, same 3 products, morning and evening, depending on your skin type. And that's literally all you need to get started.
And it's all about consistency, right?
Yes.
Compounding that over time to be able to get, the glass type skin that everybody's chasing, right? That you clearly have.
Thank you.
What if it's coming down to my diet and I'm like, I'm doing all the routines and I'm doing all the steps, but nothing's changing?
Yes.
What would that suggest to you?
So I think that exfoliation is probably something that's really important. So you can be really healthy internally and you can have good skin, right? But it's not necessarily going to be glowing and light reflective, and that comes from a lot of exfoliation. So I believe chemical peels are something that everyone should do very regularly.
Interesting. What would you consider regularly?
Every month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
every single month. So depending on your age, your skin cell turnover is different.
Yeah.
But it's kind of every 28 days that we need that renewal. So if you think about, you know, all that dead skin building up, and then after that 28 days, if you're not really shedding some skin or rejuvenating your skin in some way, you get another 28 days of buildup, and then another 28 days of buildup, and then that causes your skin to look dull.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And hydration, how does that play a part into everything?
Hydration internally.
Well, hydration internally. Does it affect how the hydration in my skin would be, or vice versa?
Depends on how you absorb the hydration. So it would depend how healthy you are as a person. So yes, I do see majority of the time people who drink lots of water, generally speaking, will have more hydrated skin, but there are also people who drink lots of water and still have dry skin. So, so there's other things that you need to be doing other than just drinking lots of water. Yeah.
What are those other things that I should look at?
So healthy diet is important, and that doesn't mean you need to be vegan or vegetarian or a carnivore diet. It just means that you need to be, you know, a well-rounded diet and avoiding sugar. I think that's the main one. Sugar and dairy. Dairy is an inflammatory food, so it causes inflammation in the skin, which then can lead to breakouts as well. But sugar actually dehydrates the skin.
Oh,
Caffeine dehydrates the skin. So,
I knew that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. So I stopped drinking coffee about a year and a half ago, not because of that, but I've noticed a big change in my skin even from cutting out the caffeine.
Oh, wow. Don't tell me that.
I know.
Like every coffee lover's like, can't be.
I
Can't
know. Well, I think one coffee a day is fine. It's more so for people who are having like 2 or more because it does, you can really see the difference in people's skin when they stop drinking caffeine.
Yeah, especially if you're working out, you've got your caffeine and then you have like your cup of coffee, if you've got your pre-workout, and then you might have something later on. It kind of compounds into too much over time.
Yes, it does. It does.
So how do you now have your own location?
Yes.
How do you manage business life and then motherhood as well?
I don't.
Everyone's worst nightmare.
I try to. Yeah. It's a challenge. It is. It's finding the time for everything. I think any female business owner with a family will feel that challenge. It's hard. It's hard allocating time to everything. I kind of make it work. I only work 4 days a week. I technically work 7 days because I'm constantly doing, and I'm constantly doing things for my business too. I'm responding to clients, I'm doing my admin, and I'm a sole trader at the moment, so I don't have any help, which I think I'm going to need to get help soon probably.
Expansion, we love that.
Yeah, exactly. But I really try to focus on my time with my children. So when I'm with my children, that's my time with my children. And then when they go to sleep, that's when I generally will respond to people's DMs or email inquiries. So I try to be very present in the moment with my children and very present in the moment with my clients and in my business. I think that's key. You have to kind of balance it that way.
I've noticed talking to a lot of women who own their own businesses, that's the number one consistent thing that they've said is I have to be present in this moment with whatever it is that I'm doing and then present in the next moment. Otherwise, if there's a crossover, both aren't getting 100% of my effort.
No.
And there's this, it'll never be the standard that it needs to be, just like for their partner as well.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I think sometimes that can be a struggle because you could be at work and then something could be happening at home in the background and your mind is kind of there. And the same thing with you could be with your children or your husband or your family and your mind is with work. So it's actually really hard to practice being present. I think that most people struggle with that.
I 100% struggle. My mind is always somewhere else.
Oh, same.
Always. How for you, was it something that you were able to implement? Like how did you get good at it?
So I think I do little things like when we're having dinner, I don't have my phone. And I think that's really important. None of us have our phones when we're having dinner. So for that, hour, 2 hours, or however many hours we're sitting and eating, we have conversation. And it's not interrupted by the phone, or, you can't hear my phone going off as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important thing, is that I'll put my phone on silent. It's away, and, whatever is waiting for me can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your attention and effort needs to be presented in with what you're doing,
Yes.
as opposed to that FOMO of what could be happening in the phone.
Yeah, because those people can wait. I think that family for me comes first, always. I'm always I'm a mother and a wife first, and I'm a business owner second, although probably people don't feel that way. Like my clients probably don't feel that way from me, because I am very present with them.
Yep.
And I think that that's a skill, and not everyone can learn that skill, I think.
It's interesting. Why do you place your business second?
I think because I was born to be a mum. I just love it. I love being a mother. I love my children. I love family life. I love cooking. I love being at home. I'm such a family-orientated person. And even though my business is like such a priority in my life, if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose my family.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And I think it's a beautiful take. I talk about the pendulum swing in society a lot. And the pendulum swing right now is from the, women who were stay-at-home moms, and then we swung hard to the boss babe, I can do it all myself. And there's like healthy balance is coming back in, where women like yourself want to work but also have a family, but they prioritize the family first. Instead of, I'm going to prioritize my work and my business, it's now changing, or it's a healthy balance is coming back into place.
Yeah. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you feel differently?
No, I think the same,
Okay.
but I do think that a lot of the time female business owners, and I know I've struggled with it too, is wearing so many hats.
100%.
And I think as women in general, we just do so much, sometimes too much.
I don't think we know how to delegate.
No, because we want the control.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think it's two things. One is like we want to control everything. If we can control everything, it's fine, right? The second is, at least my perspective for speaking for self, it's I need to prove that I can do it.
Yes.
Like, let me prove that I can do it.
Yeah.
And that does nobody any good except run me into the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I've been there before too. Yeah. And I can still have the tendency to be like that too, because I think I can do everything.
And we technically can, right? Like we technically can do everything. It's just,
most things.
yeah, we shouldn't have to and don't need to.
No, and I think that's the key. I think that a lot of women feel that they have to do everything, and I think that also comes from safety.
Yes, an extreme, well, I think depends on the woman and what she's been through in her life.
Yes.
But a distrust for the world, and sometimes a disconnection from self.
Yes. And then you become hyper independent, which then is really unhealthy.
Yes. I truly believe that was the boss babe movement. The boss babe movement was a hyper independence. I can do everything myself. I can have the family life and run the however many businesses and do everything myself. And I think it just created a environment of women who became worn out, burnt out, and resentful of everything in their life.
Yes. And I also think that that kind of mentality has bred a culture of women hating men.
Yes.
As well. And I've noticed that a lot. Like there's a lot of trends, going around at the moment where women are hating on men or what men have done to them. And I think that that's quite scary. It's quite alarming because there's some really beautiful men in the world. And, I'm raising 3 boys, and I hope that all of them are going to be, respectful and treat women with kindness and love. So I think if I've got 3 boys that are, good boys and treat women nicely, then surely there's another 3 and then another 3. So I think that this whole, women empowerment, it's great and it's great that we can do all these things, but I think sometimes it's been taken completely too far and it's turned into women competing with men.
Yes.
And we actually need each other.
Yes.
We really do.
No, I 100% agree. And coming from someone who was in that place.
Yes.
A place of I want to be a man as opposed to I want to be a woman, and I'm okay with the fact that I'm a female.
Yes.
But I can still do things that men do, not everything, and that's okay because I can do things that men can't.
Yes.
And I think that comes from a place of being able to look within myself and be like, what do I need to heal within me if I'm seeing the world in such a, I don't want to say toxic, but it's almost like a betrayal or a distrust for them.
Yes.
And
it's from being hurt.
100%.
Yeah, and that's where it stems from.
So it's like, well, I have to heal something within me. Otherwise, I'm going to continue the same pattern and it's not going to change anything. And I think we have a world or at least a generation of women who are maybe hurt, or maybe it just kind of was a way that they could hook themselves into something, as opposed to seeing that the world is filled with two things. There can be men and women who are terrible and do terrible things.
Yeah.
And on the flip side is there's men and women who are phenomenal.
That's right.
And respectful and want what you want. You just have to change the lens to find them.
Yes, and you also have to change your environment sometimes too, because sometimes we can have a group of friends or, you know, our work surroundings can be quite negative and have that mindset of all men are this and all women are this, when actually no, that's not the case. The world is very large.
Yes.
And maybe that's the case in your city, or, you know, on the Gold Coast, for instance, there's a majority of certain things and you see majority of certain things, but that's in one place. So when we go to Brisbane or Sydney, it might be different. And when we go internationally, again, it's different. So it's all about perspective, right? Your perspective on things.
100%. The world around us is a reflection of the world within us.
Yes, 100%.
So our beliefs, thoughts, and perspectives are going to create the world that we see.
Yes.
And if those beliefs are of that the world is bad and men are terrible, then that's what we'll find.
100%.
Because we're looking for it.
Yes, and it will keep being attracted to you.
Yeah, 100%. How are you able to instill your values and beliefs into your young boys?
So I'm very vocal. We communicate a lot, but I also think that you have to lead by example. So I think that I'm a pretty kind person and I'm a bit of a humanitarian. So I teach them that you need to give to others, and I show them what's happening in the world and I show them how blessed they are to have the things that they have so they can appreciate and then want to give to other children and other people. So I think being a role model to your children is really important. Sometimes parents can, you know, they might drink or smoke, but then they don't want their 15-year-old to drink or smoke, but you're drinking and smoking in front of them. So what do you think they're going to do? That's a double standard.
Yeah.
So I think lead by example. Whatever you want your children to do or who you want them to become is how you should be in front of them and behind closed doors as well.
How do you maintain having a strong relationship as well as maintaining everything else that's happening in your life?
I think that comes down to compatibility. So I think that when you're with the right person, and when I say the right person, I do mean the person that you're most compatible with. So they're your best friend as well as your lover. I think that they just understand you without you having to speak.
Interesting. Okay.
So if I've had a really long day, I want to come home and know I don't have to explain that. And if I'm in a bad mood and I'm a little bit snappy, I don't want to have to sit there explaining why I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So I think when you're compatible with someone, you just feel each other. So you connect on that deeper level and you can gauge how to navigate through things together in a really healthy way.
So really, if I'm hearing you correctly, the basis of being communication outside of the compatibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even verbal communication.
Oh, interesting.
So sometimes it's just the feeling and that's a communication. Sometimes it can be a look and that's the communication. And I think when you're compatible with someone, you don't necessarily have to sit there having really deep conversations every single day. That's really healthy too, but it doesn't need to be daily.
Oh, interesting.
So I think when you both, like my husband owns a business too. So when you're both owning a business and then you've got children and then you're trying to spend quality time together, sometimes you don't really need to sit there talking too much about what you're feeling.
Yep.
Sometimes the person just feels you.
Interesting. Like if you're having like a down day, let's
Yes.
say, your partner would be able to pick up on that feeling of you as opposed to being able to communicate it.
Yes. And then he would know what to do to make me feel better.
Oh,
Without
I like
me
that.
saying anything.
Okay,
Yes.
that's like the pinnacle of relationships.
Yes,
I feel like everyone
exactly.
chases.
Yes.
Did it take a lot of work for you to get to that place?
No.
Oh, wow.
That's why I say compatibility is the key
Interesting.
to having a healthy relationship because you don't need to work on it. You don't need to sit there learning and studying each other in the beginning. I've been there too. I know what that feels like.
Okay, wow.
So you just click, you connect, and you just get each other instantly, and it just works.
Do you think that's like a soul connection?
Yes, 100%. I think that you can have various soulmates. I don't think that necessarily means your husband or your wife. You can have a soulmate in a girlfriend. You can have a soulmate in your child or a stranger. There's so many different levels of soulmate, but I think it's like a twin flame.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think that when you meet like the mirror image of yourself in a human, you just like connect on this deep level where you don't need to sit there explaining everything to them.
It's actually really beautiful and a perspective I've not actually heard somebody
Oh, really?
explain. Because you talk about, you don't talk about, but
Yes.
other people do, that communication level and, talking everything through and being able to
Yes.
explain it, but not the idea that on a compatibility level, somebody could just automatically know without having to talk about it.
Yes. And I think that that's really one of the keys to finding the right person is because sometimes we don't want to sit there communicating.
No.
Sometimes we're not in the mood and then your partner might be having a moment and, it depends on your love language too. Like if you're introverted, if you're extroverted, I've been in relationships where people don't like to talk and I'm a talker.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I love talking things through, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes I also don't feel like explaining myself.
Yep.
If I'm hormonal, for instance, and I'm being moody, I don't need to sit there telling you, oh, I'm hormonal, this is the reason that I'm feeling this way. I just want my partner to realize, oh, she's hormonal, she might need some chocolate or she might need a cuddle or she might need some space and just know what I need without me having to sit there explaining it constantly.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like that's truly phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it's, maybe it fascinates me so much because we're told that we should be communicating in every aspect and somebody can't possibly know what we're feeling or thinking unless it's communicated.
Yes.
Which
a lot of the time is the case, right?
Yeah.
But I think in a relationship, in a marriage or any relationship, when you feel that person on a deeper level, you don't need to do that. You just don't need to because it could be a look and you just know. Or it could be a touch, and you just know and you feel that energy from each other, vice versa. I'm the same with my husband. Yeah.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been together almost 8 years now.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm very fascinated by that.
It's interesting that you haven't ever heard that before.
No,
I find that really interesting.
Like I've always heard of the idea of being soul compatible with somebody.
Yes.
And being able to meet someone and have that instant connection with you. Can't really explain it, but you just know that something's there.
Yes.
And it's not like that weird butterfly feeling, but it's not jitterish, like that giddy feeling or anything. It's just that deep knowing that you've known them for a while and there's something there.
Yes.
But I've never met somebody who could explain it.
Okay.
Or who actually has
experienced
a lived
it, maybe.
experience.
Yeah.
That's very fascinating.
Yeah. It's like, when they say love at first sight.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's love at first sight because you can't love someone until you get to really know them and experience their, their negative traits and their positive traits. You need to live with someone to really fall in love with them.
I agree.
And accept their flaws as well, right? But I do believe that you can meet someone and there can be this energy between you and then that can develop into a really strong soul connection from straight away.
Wow.
Yeah, you just know straight away. You just feel it.
Is that, now I'm curious, knowing that you are religious.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because you're deeply religious that you're able to identify that? Or how do you view that?
No, I don't, because I wasn't always deeply religious.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
So I grew up with my upbringing is really interesting too. So,
everybody says.
So I'm Russian. My mum's Russian. My dad's from Azerbaijan, which is a tiny little country. No one ever knows where it is. It's kind of like on the border of Turkey and Syria. So it's kind of in that part of the world.
Thank you for telling me.
Yes, but I grew up not knowing my father. So I grew up in a very Russian, like traditional Russian household. And I had half of my family was Jewish, and then the other half of my family was Russian Orthodox. So I reverted to being Muslim probably about 6 years ago now, around that time. And after I left my ex-husband, that's when I kind of went on a spiritual journey, but I've always been very deep. Okay. So I think when it comes to soul connections and love and, romance and all of that, I've always been that way. So I've always believed that when you meet someone, you just know. And even with my ex-husband, we met and then he proposed to me after a week.
Oh, wow.
And I lived with him after a week of knowing him.
Yeah.
And then we got married 8 months later and then had my son 3 months after that.
Oh, wow.
So he just knew. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like straight away, he just knew that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what he was going to get. So I do believe that you can meet people and just know and just feel. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be with that person forever.
Yeah.
But at that point in life, I should say, you just know and it's meant to be, and you just have that instant chemistry or instant connection and you're meant to be together.
That's actually really beautiful to think of it in that perspective. So, okay, do you think that there's multiple soulmates for people or one?
From my own experience, I think there's only one. I think that you can be in love multiple times, but to have that true soul connection, that really deep soul connection, I think that only really comes once in your life. And I think some people never find it.
Oh, wow.
I don't think everyone finds it.
Is that because we're looking for something else?
Yes, I think so. I think that a lot of women place emphasis on things that they shouldn't. I think that a lot of women are chasing money and success these days more than ever before. And that comes with a lot of other things. And sometimes those men that are uber successful and uber wealthy are not very in touch with their self. They're not very self-aware.
Yeah.
And they can be quite selfish too. So I think that chasing that's probably a negative thing. And I think that a lot of women don't place emphasis on that soul connection anymore because it's survival almost.
I would have to agree with that. Do you think it plays on both sides then? If men are chasing success and power and status as they always have, now it's like a pendulum of, well, women want the same thing, but we're kind of forgetting of what true connection is or was meant to be. Almost like the family values. And I notice this a lot in America.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem what it used to be.
No, I believe that, and I believe that there's an agenda behind that.
Interesting.
So
conspiracy theories, I love this.
Yes, me too. So I do believe that there's a huge push from the elitists and the governments to divide couples and families and to really abolish the nuclear family. And I'm seeing that more than ever before. Even I work with all women.
Yep.
And the stories that I hear and the things that they go through and the difficulties they have in relationships now is really different to when I was kind of 20 years old and just meeting someone and, getting to know someone. Now it seems almost impossible to meet someone.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have all the access to so many people around the world.
Yes.
Just by a flick of our phones.
Yes.
But we're more disconnected than anything. And I think that's in friendships as well. But even romantically, I think women rely on our friends more than we do now. Sorry, the opposite sex. I think both sides are to blame though.
I think both sides are to blame as well. And I think men will blame women and women will blame men.
Easy,
but
right?
it's actually, exactly. It's both.
It's much easier.
responsible.
Yeah, it's much easier for me to point the finger and be like, you're the problem or it's your fault, than to point the finger back at myself and be like, okay, what did I do wrong?
Yes.
Or how can I change? Maybe I didn't show up in my best version and I should have or I could have, instead of blaming it all on the opposite party.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And I think more than ever before, it's women blaming men. More so than men blaming women from what you see on social media, more so than anything else. And I think that stems from, throughout history, men have cheated, men have lied, and men have been the ones that have all the power, and women were a bit oppressed and couldn't work and couldn't fend for themselves. And now there's a bit of a power shift, and I feel like women are now becoming more like men, and men are becoming very feminine and soft. And there's the agenda behind that, right?
Yeah, it's been a weird switch.
Yes.
We created, it's almost like women, for each time that we were oppressed in some way, there was a female who fought against it in a positive way.
Yes.
Like for our rights to work or to buy our own house, have our own business. And then it kind of gets taken to the extreme, just like a little bit more and a little bit more. To the point, I think, with the Boss Babe movement, we swung the pendulum hard to do everything ourselves, and now we can be a man. Yes. But now it's this power struggle of women are up here and we're never going backwards.
No.
So now we're asking men to be like, okay, it used to be just financial and protecting that you needed to do, but it's like now we need you to show up in an emotional sense to match us on the same level.
Yes.
On the same token, I agree with the social media stance where the shooting down of men has become more acceptable in a way.
Yeah, it has. It has. And I think that men have become so emasculated that it's almost like they've just given up.
Yeah. So, okay, question. Do you think they've become emasculated in the way that women were able to rise up to where they are? And is that partly their fault because they're not choosing to change or step up or accept for things for how they are? Or is it women because we push too much?
I think both.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I think both. I think women expect too much these days of men. And I think that comes from a lot of things. I think social media does play a part in that. And I think men do need to step up. I think that there's a lot of men who are just really weak.
I agree.
I think that women feel like they can't depend on men anymore because they are so weak.
Yeah.
And they can do it without the man, and actually having the man in their life brings them more stress than anything else.
It's like having an extra child.
It is. Yeah. It is. And you see it with kind of under 35s, I think more so, even probably more so under 30s. But under 35s, men are just not men anymore.
No.
They're just not, they're not that protector. They're a little bit scared to protect. They're not that provider. I mean, I hear so many times in my clinic room that men don't even pay the bill.
Which is mind-blowing.
Which I don't understand. And it's not about, people can say, oh, you're a gold digger, you just want a man for money. No. Throughout history, men have always provided. That's got nothing to do with being a gold digger. And even when women couldn't work, they provided.
Yes.
And a man's duty is to provide and protect. That's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
That's literally the bare minimum.
Scraping the barrel.
Yes, exactly. I mean, if you can't pay for a coffee, how do you expect a woman to want to marry you?
Or like even the thought of having like a family. If you can't buy a coffee, what are we doing?
That's right. How will I be a stay-at-home mum?
Yes.
And let's be real, even the most successful businesswoman, when she falls in love and when she steps into her feminine energy and when she becomes a mother, she will want to stay at home for a period of time and know that she's looked after by her husband.
100%. It's like, do I have somebody to have my six, or am I going at this all alone?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why more people are not getting married.
I actually agree with that. It's like, so my stance is in two parts. One is the men look at it and they're like, what's the point, right? If I'm coming into this, they look at it from a divorce standpoint, which I think going into any relationship and being like, oh, we'll probably get divorced one day. What's the point? And it's like, well, I'm going to die one day. What's the point, right? And then women are like, well, if he's offering me the bare minimum, what's the point? Because I can just do it myself.
Yes.
Do I really need a man to have a child? Not really. I could go and do it myself.
Yes.
Which is sad. Like so sad, I think, for any child to grow up without access to both parents in any way. I don't think anyone would hope that a child grows up without either.
No, I agree. I agree. I still am very traditional, and I do think that men and women, like I said before, need one another for different things. But I do think there's that power struggle now where women are just too dominant and they're just stepping into their masculine energy so much, but that also comes from that fear of not being able to be in their feminine energy because the men are just not dominant and masculine enough. And that's really sad. It
really is. And it's even, I struggled with that place for a very long time, like that want to drop the hard, cold, masculine shield that I carried. And it was like, even when I stepped out into the world, it was like, oh, it has to come back. Because being in space with men, it was like, well, I can't trust you, so it's gonna kind of come back up.
Yes.
So it was I think it's a very hard switch for women to make, especially if they've experienced levels of unsafety in their life.
Yes, 100%.
But unfortunately, it's our responsibility to get to a place where we can be in that nurturing, soft, I would call it almost expansive self.
Yeah.
When I truly believe when a female is in a place of nurturing and that soft, like the softer she becomes, the more expansive she is.
I agree.
The more she has to offer the world and those around her. The harder we are, the colder we are, the more contracted we are, the less we have to offer.
Yes, I love that. That's so true. I agree with that so much because I think that, definitely when you're in your soft energy, I feel like you're the best you can be because you've got that loving, that openness. You're not closed. You're not hard. And my mum always taught me, she's on her 4th marriage now. She's always said, never stop believing in love. Never harden your heart. Always have a soft heart no matter what comes your way, no matter who hurts you, no matter what experiences you've had. The key is don't ever close your heart and always have a soft heart because that's, the essence of life.
It really is.
You can't just go around being hard. No one will want to be in your energy.
No, it's a very, you're right. It's a very hardened energy, but almost like you're sending, and this is my experience, sending out an energy force field of you can't come into the space, right? So it's almost like trying to keep them away as much as possible.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so that the energy that we put into the world is the energy that we receive back as well.
Yes.
Which is why coming from a place of love and kindness and that nurturing soft place means that we're open to receiving what the world has to offer us.
Yes, and that doesn't necessarily have to transcend into a relationship either. I noticed that with my business as well, is that kindness and that love and that warmth. People want to be around that.
Yes.
People feel your authenticity as
100%.
well. You can't fake that.
No.
And you can feel when someone is forcefully faking it. Yes.
Just to show face, to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I did that in my last business and it was one of the hardest 3-4 years of my life.
Oh gosh, that's a long time to do that.
It was, but it taught me a lot. That's not what I want to be.
No.
Yeah.
And I think the more authentic you are, just the better people will be surrounded by you and will come into your life, and the more you'll grow as a human as well, because you'll be interacting with really beautiful people and you'll have those beautiful connections. And it's based on being your authentic self. You don't need to put a facade on because that can only last for so many years.
100% before you, in my case, crash and burn.
Yes.
Or you just get to a place where you're, and this is also me, deeply unhappy, where you're like, what's the point?
Yes.
Right? And it's like something has to change, and it's either you change yourself or you make a move in a different direction, but what you're doing right now is not working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Anjel, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much for coming on. The conversation was fantastic. Where can people find you on your social media?
So you can find me on The Skin Angel, and it's Anjel, just to be different. My name's spelled with a J, not a G. And I'm located in Bigger Waters, right next to Harbour Town on the Gold Coast.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.